Imagine that it is a quiet spring morning in London, sometime in the late 19th century. Before the city fully awakens, a large Victorian mansion is already alive with soft footsteps. Upstairs, a wealthy young woman slowly opens her eyes as pale sunlight filters through heavy lace curtains. The room smells faintly of lavender, rose water, and polished wood. Her day cannot begin with breakfast. It cannot begin with conversation. It cannot even begin with looking in the mirror. Instead, beauty comes first. A maid quietly enters, carrying a polished silver tray. Upon it rest delicate porcelain bowls, soft linen cloths, tiny crystal bottles, and several mysterious creams prepared before dawn. Every item has its purpose, and every step must follow an exact order. The young woman sits perfectly still while warm rose water gently cleanses her face. There is no rushing. Victorian elegance is built on patience. Even a few careless movements could be considered improper for a lady of high society. The first treatment is a cooling cream spread carefully across her cheeks and forehead. It promises smooth, youthful skin. No one questions what is inside the mixture. Advertisements describe it as perfectly safe, and fashionable magazines recommend it to every respectable woman. Nearby, another small bottle contains a whitening lotion. During the Victorian era, pale skin is admired because it suggests wealth and a life free from hard outdoor labor. A gentle tan, something many people seek today, would have been deeply unfashionable among the upper classes. Outside the mansion, servants sweep the front steps while horse-drawn carriages begin rolling across damp cobblestone streets. But inside this luxurious bedroom, time moves differently. Every brushstroke, every scented cloth, and every tiny bottle represents a silent promise, the promise of flawless beauty. Whether those promises are true, no one knows. And before this peaceful morning comes to an end, even stranger rituals are still waiting to begin. As the morning light grows brighter, one small porcelain jar is carefully opened, and inside lies one of the Victorian era's most mysterious beauty secrets. The silver lid is lifted with remarkable care. Inside the tiny porcelain jar rests a thick white cream, smooth as fresh butter and carrying the delicate scent of roses. To the women of Victorian high society, it is not merely a cosmetic. It is a daily necessity, as essential as the fine silk gowns hanging inside, polished wardrobes, or the pearl necklaces resting in velvet boxes. The maid dips two graceful fingers into the cream before gently spreading it across her mistress's face. Every movement is slow, practiced, and almost silent. The morning ritual feels less like preparing for the day and more like performing a quiet ceremony passed from one generation to the next. No one asks where the cream comes from. No one questions the ingredients. The label promises beauty, refinement, and the flawless pale complexion admired throughout fashionable London. That is all most ladies need to know. During the Victorian era, pale skin speaks without words. It quietly announces wealth, comfort, and a life untouched by physical labor beneath the harsh summer sun. A fair complexion becomes a symbol of privilege, while even the slightest tan risks whispers among society's most observant guests. Some women apply only a thin layer. Others use so much that their faces appear almost like polished marble beneath the soft candlelight. Beauty magazines encourage these habits with endless confidence. Advertisements praise miraculous creams that promise youthful skin, invisible pores, and an elegant glow that never fades. Wealthy households eagerly purchase the newest formulas, believing science and fashion have finally discovered perfection. Yet behind the pleasant fragrance and luxurious packaging, a hidden danger quietly waits. Many beauty products of the time contain substances that modern doctors would immediately recognize as harmful. The women applying them each morning have no reason to suspect anything unusual. Their trusted chemists recommend them. Their closest friends use them. Even members of the aristocracy proudly display the results. As the cream slowly dries across her face, the young woman smiles at her reflection, believing she has taken another careful step toward elegance. She cannot see what history already knows. Outside, the city grows busier with every passing minute, while upstairs another servant arrives carrying an elegant wooden box filled with delicate brushes, tiny scissors, ribbons, and polished ivory combs. The face is finally prepared. Now the long and surprisingly complicated ritual of Victorian hair begins. By the time the face has been carefully prepared, the real work is only beginning. The young lady rises from her chair and slowly moves toward a larger mirror framed in polished walnut. Waiting beside it is an impressive collection of brushes, ivory combs, silver hairpins, satin ribbons, and curling tongs resting near a small charcoal heater. Every tool has its purpose, and every strand of hair must obey. Unlike today, wealthy Victorian women rarely styled their own hair. That responsibility belonged to experienced ladies, maids who often spent years mastering fashionable hairstyles. A single mistake could ruin an entire morning's preparation. The maid begins with long, gentle brush strokes, carefully working from the ends of the hair toward the roots. The process is slow, almost hypnotic. 100 strokes, then another 100. Many believe this daily ritual improved both beauty and health, leaving the hair softer and more radiant. Soon the room fills with the faint scent of lavender oil and sweet almond essence. Tiny drops are massaged into each section before the hair is divided into neat portions. Thick curls are formed one by one, using heated metal tongs, requiring patience and remarkable precision. Too much heat could burn the hair. Too little would leave the curls lifeless before lunchtime. Fashion demanded extraordinary volume. Not every woman was naturally blessed with thick hair, so clever solutions appeared. Hair collected from brushes was carefully saved instead of thrown away. It was shaped into small cushions, called rats, hidden beneath the hairstyle to create fullness. Some wealthy ladies even purchased human hair from professional dealers to make their hairstyles appear grander than nature had intended. The higher and more elaborate the hairstyle became, the greater the admiration it often received at elegant social gatherings. Yet these magnificent creations came with a price. Many hairstyles took 2 or even 3 hours to complete. Once finished, they could not simply be taken apart each evening. Some women slept almost upright, resting their heads on special pillows to protect the delicate arrangement until the following day. Comfort was quietly sacrificed in the name of beauty. As the final ribbon is tied into place, the reflection in the mirror appears flawless. The hairstyle is complete, elegant enough for London's finest drawing rooms. But one final touch still remains before she is ready to greet the world. On a nearby velvet tray rests a tiny crystal bottle filled with an expensive perfume whose fragrance will linger long after she has left the room. The hairstyle is finally complete. Not a single curl is out of place. Every ribbon has been carefully tied, every pin hidden beneath waves of glossy hair. The young woman studies her reflection with quiet satisfaction, but she knows the morning ritual is not yet over. A small velvet-lined tray is placed gently upon the dressing table. Resting on it are several delicate crystal perfume bottles, each no larger than the palm of her hand. Their glass catches the soft morning light, scattering tiny rainbows across the polished wood. Perfume is far more than a pleasant fragrance. For wealthy Victorian women, it is an invisible symbol of refinement. The maid uncorks one elegant bottle with slow, practiced movements. Instantly, the room fills with gentle notes of rose, violet, bergamot, and orange blossom. The scent is light, never overwhelming. Victorian etiquette values subtlety above excess. A lady should leave only the faintest trace of perfume behind, never enough to announce her arrival before she enters the room. One tiny drop is placed behind each ear. Another rests lightly upon her wrists. The final drop is brushed across a lace handkerchief embroidered with her initials. As she folds it neatly into her sleeve, the fragrance will quietly accompany her throughout the day. Creating these perfumes is an expensive art. Many ingredients travel thousands of miles before reaching London's finest perfume houses. Jasmine from distant gardens, lavender from the French countryside, citrus oils carried across the Mediterranean Sea. Owning such rare scents quietly reminds everyone that wealth can be measured not only in jewels and fine clothing, but also in the invisible luxury that surrounds a person. Yet perfume serves another purpose. Victorian cities are beautiful, but they are not always clean. Horse-drawn carriages crowd the streets. Coal smoke drifts endlessly through the air. Open drains and busy markets create odors that even the richest neighborhoods cannot completely escape. A delicate fragrance becomes both a luxury and a shield against the smells of everyday city life. The young woman rises gracefully as her maid carefully smooths the final folds of her elegant morning dress. Everything appears perfect. But beneath layers of silk, another hidden challenge quietly waits. Fashion demands a figure unlike anything nature provides. Standing beside the wardrobe is an object every wealthy Victorian woman knows well: the corset. The perfume has settled softly into the air, leaving behind a delicate fragrance that lingers like a quiet memory. For a brief moment, the young woman enjoys the peaceful silence of her bedroom. Then the maid reaches into the wardrobe. Carefully, she lifts out a tightly stitched corset made of fine ivory satin. Its long laces trail across the polished wooden floor, while thin strips of whalebone sewn inside promise to shape the body into the fashionable silhouette admired throughout Victorian society. The young woman exhales slowly. She knows what comes next. Stepping into the corset requires patience. The garment wraps firmly around her waist before the maid begins, pulling the laces tighter, one careful tug after another. The sound is soft but unmistakable, the gentle pull of fabric, the quiet creak of stitched seams, and the slow tightening that transforms the body's natural shape. At first, the pressure feels manageable. Then the breathing becomes slightly shallower. The waist grows smaller with every pull. Victorian fashion celebrates a tiny waist as the ultimate sign of elegance and refinement. Fashion magazines proudly display illustrations of graceful ladies whose figures seem almost impossibly slender. Across London's wealthiest neighborhoods, young women dream of achieving the same appearance. Some succeed naturally, others rely entirely on the corset. Many begin wearing them as teenagers, allowing years of daily use to gradually reshape their posture. Standing straight becomes effortless, but deep breaths become more difficult. Sitting comfortably requires careful movements. Even climbing a staircase can leave a lady quietly catching her breath. Yet few complain aloud. Discomfort is often accepted as the price of beauty. At elegant afternoon gatherings, every woman appears calm and composed, hiding the tight embrace beneath layers of expensive silk and delicate lace. Their smiles remain gentle, their posture flawless, and their movements slow and graceful. To those watching, everything seems effortless. Only the wearer truly understands how much discipline hides beneath the beautiful gown. Finally, the maid ties the last knot. The young woman looks into the mirror once more. Her waist appears exactly as fashion demands. Her shoulders are straight. Her dress falls perfectly into place. She is ready to step into society, but before she leaves the mansion, one final ritual remains. On a nearby table, elegant velvet boxes are slowly opened, revealing sparkling jewels, delicate gloves, and carefully chosen accessories that will complete the appearance of a true Victorian lady. The corset is finally secured beneath layers of fine silk, allowing the gown to fall in perfect, graceful folds. The young woman takes one slow breath, careful not to disturb the delicate shape that has taken nearly an hour to create. Now comes the final stage of dressing. Her maid places a small velvet jewelry case upon the table and gently lifts the lid. Inside, rows of shimmering pearls, delicate gold brooch, sparkling cameos, and slender bracelets rest upon deep blue velvet. None of them are chosen at random. Every piece quietly speaks a language understood by Victorian society. Pearls suggest innocence and refinement. Gold reflects prosperity. A carefully crafted cameo often honors family tradition. Even the smallest ring may carry memories passed from one generation to another. The maid fastens a pearl necklace around her mistress's neck before securing a tiny brooch at the collar of her dress. Each movement is slow and precise, ensuring every ornament catches the morning light without appearing excessive. In Victorian England, true elegance is never loud. A respectable lady is expected to impress through balance rather than extravagance. Too many jewels could invite criticism. Too few might suggest declining fortunes. The perfect appearance lies somewhere quietly between the two. Next come the gloves. Soft kid leather, smooth as silk, is gently pulled over each hand until every finger fits perfectly. Gloves are worn almost everywhere outside the home. They protect delicate skin from dust, sunlight, and curious eyes while adding another layer of sophistication. A bare hand in public would feel strangely incomplete. Nearby rests an elegant lace parasol, waiting patiently beside a fashionable bonnet decorated with ribbons and tiny feathers. These are not simply beautiful accessories. The parasol shields precious pale skin from the sun. The bonnet frames the face with graceful symmetry. Every object serves both beauty and purpose. The young woman studies herself one final time. The reflection staring back appears calm, confident, and perfectly composed. No one looking at her would guess how many hours of careful preparation have filled this quiet morning. Beyond the tall windows, the sound of carriage wheels echoes through London's busy streets. Invitations have been accepted. Afternoon callers are expected. Society is already waiting. With gentle confidence, she reaches for the polished brass door handle. Outside these elegant walls, another carefully choreographed performance is about to begin, one where every glance, every conversation, and every graceful movement will be silently judged by the eyes of Victorian high society. The heavy front door opens without a sound. A polished black carriage waits patiently outside the mansion, its horses standing perfectly still, as if they too understand the importance of the occasion. The coachman tips his hat, while the footman carefully lowers the small wooden step. The young woman gathers the folds of her silk dress and enters with graceful confidence. Within moments, the carriage begins rolling across London's cobbled streets. Behind the windows, the city slowly comes alive. Shopkeepers arrange their displays. Flower sellers greet early customers. Gentle clouds of cold smoke drift above rooftops, softening the pale morning sky. Yet inside the carriage, the atmosphere remains calm and elegant. Every movement is measured. Every detail reflects the quiet discipline expected of a Victorian lady. Today's destination is the townhouse of a close family friend, where an afternoon gathering has been carefully arranged. These social visits are far more than pleasant conversations. They are opportunities. Families strengthen friendships. Future marriages are quietly discussed. Business partnerships begin over cups of tea. A single afternoon may influence the reputation of an entire household. As the carriage arrives, another servant opens the door before the young woman even reaches it. She steps inside a magnificent drawing room glowing beneath crystal chandeliers. Rich carpets soften every footstep, while polished mahogany furniture reflects the warm afternoon light. Several elegantly dressed ladies are already present. Their gowns shimmer with delicate embroidery. Pearl necklaces rest gently against high lace collars. Soft laughter fills the room without ever becoming loud. Conversation follows its own unwritten rules. No one interrupts. No one raises their voice. Politics and personal scandals are politely avoided. Instead, they discuss music, literature, recent travels, gardens, and the newest Paris fashions. Even compliments must be offered with careful restraint. One guest quietly notices another woman's flawless complexion. Another admires an unusually elegant hairstyle. Behind every kind word lies silent observation. Every dress is examined. Every accessory is noticed. Every small gesture quietly contributes to a lady's reputation. Tea is served in delicate porcelain cups, accompanied by tiny cakes, fresh fruit, and warm scones. The gathering appears effortless, almost peaceful, but beneath the graceful smiles, every woman understands she is being quietly judged by the standards of Victorian society. As the afternoon slowly draws to a close, invitations for future visits are exchanged with gentle smiles. Yet one exciting invitation stands apart from all the others. It is not for another tea gathering. It is an invitation to leave England itself, to cross the sea, and begin a remarkable journey across Europe. As the afternoon gathering slowly comes to an end, silver trays are quietly cleared away, empty teacups disappear, and the elegant drawing room begins to fall silent once again. Just before leaving, the hostess approaches with a warm smile. In her gloved hands rests a beautifully embossed envelope, sealed with dark red wax and decorated with a golden family crest. It is not an ordinary invitation. The young woman carefully breaks the seal and unfolds the thick cream-colored paper. The words inside describe an unforgettable journey. A small group of distinguished ladies has been invited to travel across Europe during the coming summer. The route will include Paris, Geneva, Venice, Vienna, and several charming towns that few people in England will ever have the opportunity to see. For many wealthy Victorian women, such a journey is the adventure of a lifetime. Travel is not undertaken for excitement alone. It is considered an education. Visiting famous museums, ancient churches, grand palaces, and celebrated art galleries is believed to refine both knowledge and character. Returning home with stories of Europe brings admiration among friends and neighbors alike. The invitation fills the room with quiet excitement. Preparations must begin immediately. Unlike modern travelers, Victorian ladies cannot simply pack a single suitcase. Every destination requires carefully planned clothing. Morning dresses, afternoon dresses, evening gowns, walking outfits, travel cloaks, gloves for every occasion, shoes for city streets, gardens, and formal dinners. Each garment must be folded with extraordinary care to prevent wrinkles during long journeys. Large leather trunks soon replace the peaceful atmosphere of the bedroom. Servants begin making detailed lists, checking every item twice before it is packed. Hair brushes are wrapped in soft linen. Perfume bottles are secured inside padded boxes. Jewelry cases are locked with tiny brass keys. Even handwritten letters of introduction are tucked safely into hidden compartments, ensuring their owner will be welcomed by influential families across Europe. Days pass quickly as preparations continue. Maps are carefully studied. Travel routes are discussed over dinner. Steamship schedules and railway timetables are examined with remarkable attention. Everything must happen according to plan. On the evening before departure, the young woman walks quietly through the gardens surrounding the family mansion. She knows that when the sun rises tomorrow, England will slowly disappear behind her. Ahead lies an unfamiliar continent filled with magnificent cities, breathtaking mountains, and journeys unlike anything she has ever experienced. Before Europe can reveal its wonders, however, one final morning of careful preparation still awaits. The house awakens earlier than usual. Long before the first rays of sunlight reach the windows, servants quietly move through the corridors, carrying folded gowns, polished boots, and carefully labeled travel cases. The peaceful rhythm of everyday life has been replaced by the excitement of departure. In the center of the bedroom stand 3 enormous leather trunks. Each has been handcrafted from thick brown hide, strengthened with polished brass corners, and marked with the family's initials in gold lettering. These trunks will soon accompany their owner across hundreds of miles of countryside, mountains, rivers, and seas. Packing is not simply a matter of choosing favorite clothes. It is a carefully planned operation. The maid begins by laying soft sheets of tissue paper between every silk dress, protecting the delicate fabric from dust and wrinkles. Evening gowns are folded with extraordinary precision, while elegant walking dresses are placed near the top for easy access upon arrival. Next come the hats. Each bonnet is carefully supported with ribbons and soft cotton so that its graceful shape survives the long journey. Decorative feathers are wrapped separately, and delicate lace veils are tucked into small embroidered pouches. Nearby, another servant fills a smaller case with everyday necessities: ivory brushes, silver mirrors, crystal perfume bottles, small sewing kits, hairpins arranged inside velvet cushions, tiny jars of face cream. Each object has its own place, and nothing is packed without careful thought. Books soon follow. Travel guides describing Europe's greatest cities, collections of poetry, leather-bound journals with blank pages waiting to record unforgettable memories. A fountain pen and several bottles of ink are wrapped safely inside padded cloth, ready for letters that will eventually be sent home. The final trunk contains comforts for the journey itself: warm wool blankets, soft travel pillows, a silver tea set. This gets stored inside decorative tins. Even long railway journeys become more pleasant when accompanied by familiar comforts from home. As every trunk is locked, heavy leather straps are tightened securely around each one. The room, once filled with elegant furniture and scattered belongings, now feels strangely empty. Everything is ready. Outside, the distant whistle of a steam train echoes across the quiet morning air. The great adventure is no longer a dream waiting in the future. It has arrived, and before the day is over, the young woman will take her first steps into one of the busiest railway stations in Victorian England, where an entirely different world of travel is waiting to welcome her. The morning air is cool as the carriage rolls through London's busy streets. The city has only just begun to wake, yet the roads are already alive with merchants, newspaper boys, and horse-drawn wagons making their daily deliveries. Inside the carriage, everything feels remarkably calm. The young woman sits quietly beside the window, her gloved hands resting gently upon her lap. Outside, familiar buildings slowly disappear behind her. She cannot help but wonder how long it will be before she sees England again. Soon, the towering roof of the railway station comes into view. Its enormous iron arches stretch high above the platforms, while thick clouds of white steam drift lazily toward the glass ceiling. The station hums with quiet excitement. Porters wheel heavy luggage across the stone floor. Families exchange final embraces. Conductors call destinations in firm but polite voices. For wealthy Victorian travelers, arriving at the station is an event in itself. A porter immediately steps forward to collect the family's leather trunks. Each case is carefully labeled, ensuring it reaches the correct carriage without delay. Even luggage reflects social standing. Fine leather, polished brass locks, and elegant initials quietly announce the family's position before a single word is spoken. The train itself is unlike anything the young woman has ever experienced. Its great black engine breathes clouds of steam with every slow movement. Brass fittings shine beneath the morning sunlight, while polished wooden carriages stretch along the platform like an endless procession. She climbs aboard. Inside, the compartment feels surprisingly luxurious. Deep velvet seats, polished walnut panels, embroidered curtains, and small reading lamps create an atmosphere more like a drawing room than public transport. As the final whistle echoes through the station, silence briefly settles over the platform. Then, with a gentle jolt, the train begins to move. London slowly drifts away behind clouds of steam. Rows of elegant townhouses give way to open fields, quiet villages, and rolling green countryside. Church towers appear on distant hills before disappearing once again beyond the horizon. The journey has truly begun. Ahead lie the ports of southern England, where magnificent steamships wait to carry travelers across the English Channel toward the European continent. The familiar comforts of home are now fading into memory. Beyond the sea, another world is waiting, filled with grand boulevards, magnificent palaces, towering cathedrals, and adventures that will forever change the way wealthy Victorian women saw Europe.